I want to talk about when being hospitalized, and actually also the time before that. There was a time when I was really ill, but I didn't know what was going on with me. It was a tough time, especially the winter times when I was psychotic. Like I said, I'm chronic psychotic, so I had multiple psychoses. And after each psychosis, it is it takes more time to recover, actually, and that's really tough. I remember in the time before I was being hospitalized, I lost everything. I was making up stories. I had dimensions woven together, and every day I made stories which were combined together. And from one day to another day, it got worse and worse and more worse until I lost control. And then luckily, my parents brought me to, I think it was a psychologist, but I'm not sure. And I remember when being there, I broke. And then I talked about my fantasies and about my things, what I have encountered. And my mother went out and she was crying, and she had a really tough time. And I didn't know what was going on, you know. I thought, this is reality, I have to speak up. Like I said, dimensions woven together. I thought people were inside other people, you know, spirits from one to another. Yeah, that was crazy. You know, I remember that, I forgot about it actually. I heard that later on, that I was shouting against a brother of mine and his girlfriend, and that he was a lunatic, and you did this and you did that, and I was really angry about that. So, but that was what I've learned later on, actually, maybe even 1 or 2 years afterwards, and I did very, very weird things in that time. I also drove around in a friend's car, and I was on the run. You know, I remember that when once I was driving behind a truck, and like Knight Rider, the series, I thought, I can drive through that truck. I have to. And I saw people on the truck shouting against me from, come on, come on, come on, you can do it. I didn't. And luckily I didn't, because otherwise I might not be here anymore. Yeah, I was totally out of reality. It was so difficult. I also remember visiting a friend, and I was saying weird things against him, and it was like I was in a large cocoon, something like that, and in a bubble. And he listened to me, and he thought, is this okay? I wasn't. So then I was being hospitalized, and many doctors helped me, and they tried to figure out what was going on with me. I remember the first evening I got there, I got medication, and I was, within 2 minutes, I was knocked out. And I can't recall anything from those 2 weeks, because the medicines was that heavy. And I had to learn everything all over again. And every time they lowered the medicine, my psychosis came back. And that took some time to get out of that. That was in one hospital. And when I was released, after, I don't know, 7, 8 weeks, something like that, I had to go to another hospital in Amsterdam called AMC. They had a department of psychotic and schizophrenic people. I met really nice people there. They were really friendly, and they were all psychotic, and they were all delusional. But we didn't talk about it, actually. We were playing games, and were making things from clay and woodworking, that you had to do something, you know? And that was cool, that was okay. It was like, learning things all over again, you know? And also what to do after being released. They wanted me to go back to work at that time. Many people expected that I had to go back to work again, to get back in society. But like I said, I was totally knocked out. And that was one of my psychoses. Afterwards I went to Art Academy again. And the first year was reasonably. But sometimes I skipped classes, and that was just a couple of days sometimes. Then it became a couple of weeks, and then I got back again, and I started painting again. But I was still psychotic, and I didn't know what was going on with me. And I was talking within myself out loud. I was shouting against the voices I heard. I didn't want to see friends anymore because I thought, I'm a lunatic. I don't want to have arguments and thinking that I know reality, because I didn't know reality. I was totally knocked out. So then I started walking through the city of Amsterdam every day. That wasn't a good period. I was really, that wasn't great. Like I said in my poems, I was hiding away from people. I went to the library of Amsterdam, where I was drawing every day, where I was writing every day on the computer, telling many stories I believed in, and they were all fake. I threw them away, actually, because when I saw them back 2-3 years later, I thought, this is not good. This is not good. And I really believed in that. So then I had difficulties. I also thought about suicide. I thought, if I have to go through this every day, I can't cope with that. I couldn't. I never could. I think I would. No, I couldn't. But then I came to a point on which I thought, okay, then I have to take medicines again, even though I didn't like them, because I was really. I couldn't feel my own feelings inside, like they were cut off. But also, what to say about that time? It was a really tough time. Then my parents let me to stay home. That was after I walked through Amsterdam for a couple of months, actually. Like I said, with my soul under my arm, from one place to another place. I was afraid of feeling people, hearing people. I didn't have my own feelings within my own thoughts, It's like people could read my mind and could feel my feelings. That wasn't a great time. So luckily I got to stay home after that. And from there on, I started to, how do you say that? To become normal in a way. But that took many years, and from one medicine to another medicine. I had a lot of great conversations with a therapist called Eric. And he really helped me out big time. From one medicine to another medicine, talking about it. Like I said, with the psychiatrist and the psychologist. Back then I didn't know there was a whole team behind me. I only thought I'm talking to Eric and that's it. But the fact was that I didn't know that. So it was a bit behind my back in a way. But they had a psychiatrist, psychologist, a doctor, someone who was an expert in psychosis. And after many years of talking, they came with that I was chronic psychotic and schizophrenic. In the meantime, it was more to see what I had and what I was and what was going on. But I didn't get a hand out of it in a way. I had to do that on my own in a way. So I saw that. And maybe reading about being psychotic, that helped me, because he also showed me a book with cartoons in it from people who were psychotic. So I could relate to that. But also, like I said in the other video, searching for symptoms online. That helped me big time. So this is a bit the part before and around 2005 until 2009, 10, 11-ish. So what I'm trying to do is to show people what it's like to be schizophrenic and psychotic, because I didn't visit friends anymore. I thought everyone can read my mind, and I was walking in the middle of the night outside for many days, because I couldn't sleep. I was afraid for feeling my brothers, my neighbors, my parents. I was afraid of sitting downstairs, that they could also read my mind. So that's a bit that time of period, in that period of time, yeah. We're already on 10 minutes, so we'll quit with it now. And yeah, see you next time.